Welcome to The Sound, KQAL FM's weekly behind-the-scenes look at Midwestern-made music. From writing and recording to distribution and promotion, The Sound is your source for new releases and exclusive interviews from Midwestern artists. Support for The Sound is made possible by a grant from the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. Rolling.
Come get a swaller, down in Butcher Holler. The best moonshine in the great Midwest, you can bet your bottom dollar.
Tonight on The Sound, we bring you an exclusive look at the new album by Gregg Hall, titled Exit 222. The album will be available this Saturday, October 26, 2024, as Gregg plays a release party at the Minnesota Conservatory for the Arts here in Winona. Based in La Crosse, Wisconsin, Gregg Hall is a local staple, playing his brand of country and Americana with his band The Wrecking Ball and with Minnesota country faves, the White Iron Band. If you've seen Gregg play, then you know that he's the real deal and has the stories to prove it, and lucky for us, he puts those stories into songs, and this new record is no exception. In fact, there's quite a story behind the making of this album, which, by the way, he traveled all the way to Nashville to record. But hey, your ears don't need me to bend them anymore. Let's let Gregg do that as we listen through the album and hear some of the stories from Gregg himself. I'm Bill Stoneberg saying hold on, because you're about to leave the busy, chaotic highway that is life as we take Exit 222 with Gregg Hall tonight on The Sound.
Come get a swaller, down in Butcher Holler. I was in love with the preacher's daughter. She was no good for me. She looked like an angel walking through my mind. She had another side to see. I was just a clean-cut country boy, could never do no wrong. She said, boy, won't you take me for a ride? We don't have to go too long. Said it's on, girl. We had every backwoods country road outside the county line. She held me tight with every little turn, girl, she was blowing my mind. This old boy never really met a girl like this before. She grabbed me again and she whispered in my ear. She said, "Baby, won't you give me some more, Lord? Let me see your wild side, wild side. Let me see you out of control. Doing 99 down an old dirt road, hitting every turn with a heavy load, shooting up signs with my old 45. When I hit the gas and I hit the liquor, went full throttle and I pulled the trigger. Don't light me up 'cause I might explode. Doing 99 down an old dirt road.
That was 99, and that's the first track from the new album from Gregg Hall called Exit 222. And Gregg is over there from across the river in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and we have Gregg on the phone with us tonight. How you doing, Gregg?
I'm doing well, Bill. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. This album it's first of all fantastic. Love it.
Thank you.
So glad when you sent this over. Good stuff, man. And also, this one's a little different. Like, you recorded this in Nashville. You did a Kickstarter for it. Can you kind of tell us about that whole process? Like, what's been going on for you the past year to make this happen?
Well, my local community really came through on the Kickstarter, and this whole thing, just kind of fell in my lap the way I was in the middle of recording an album with Pachyderm with the Wrecking Ball, and then this offer came on the table. So I went for it. And yeah, like I said, with the help of my community and my family, the Kickstarter was a really big chunk of the startup costs and everything like that. And then so we're just off and running, and then went down to Nashville last December with my best friend from high school, Brent Hannaful. He does this thing, River Media, so he kind of documented it for me and stuff.
Nice.
And I worked with Johnny Garcia. Johnny Garcia, he's a producer. He's also a lead guitarist for Trisha Yearwood, since the start of her career.
Nice.
And he's her music director, and he plays lead with Garth Brooks.
Oh, too. Wow. Yeah.
So the song you just heard, 99, that's actually him on guitar.
Oh, cool.
Song.
Very cool.
I just figured we had him in there, and he's a ringer, and we're going to use him for at least one song.
Right. So, totally, man.
No, it was good. And then we worked with a guy named Randy Boughton, who's a steel player. He played on Garth stuff, Hank Jr., Dottie West, Pam Tillis.
Wow.
Just one of them, Brooks and Dunn.
Dang, man.
Lone Star. The list. Then the other guy on piano is Tim McDonald. He played with Blake Shelton, toured with Mark Chestnut, Pam Tillis.
These are heavy hitters, man.
Hitters. Pretty cool being in the same room, listening to them tell band stories and just name dropping, but not for them, So
right. It's just regular life for them, huh?
So
wow.
That was cool. And it was just a great overall experience. I'm just,
right.
Like I said, if it wasn't for my local community coming through, I probably couldn't have made it happen.
Right.
I would have had to sell my house or something.
Right. Yeah, really. And that's pretty amazing, man, that there's so much support. Isn't that, that's got to feel good, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. There's some people out there that don't agree with that way of doing things, but sometimes we just have to do what we got to do.
Right. And I get it. Some people think it's like begging or stuff, but I don't look at it that way, because don't you offer stuff in return for it, right? Like if you donate.
A lot of it's basically, it was just like a pre-order, and then I got tickets to D's Fests, were involved in t-shirts and sponsorships and some free concerts.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody got, for what I think their money's worth, so.
Oh, for sure. I think so. And I'm sure everyone who contributed thinks it's enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Most of them were just people who wanted a record.
Right.
It was just the same price of what I would have charged to buy one anyway.
Exactly. Or they just want to help out in general, so I think it's a fantastic thing. I think it's super great, man.
Yeah.
There's lots of people that utilize that from every level of the industry, even. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's cool. I think it's super cool. And plus, you might get a piece of did you have things where you do like a tier, like if you donate over this amount, you get a signed copy, stuff like that? Or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, cool. With little packages.
Veneer notes.
Yeah. See, now that stuff's super cool, man. I love it.
Yeah, and like I said, some free. I got a couple solo shows that I did as part of it too. And,
nice.
Yeah.
Did you give out like a show, like go play for someone if they donated?
Yeah, that was yep.
Sweet. See, now I think all that stuff is super fun, man.
Yeah.
That because in this day and age with the streaming, some of the kind of what I consider the Cracker Jack prizes, when you buy a record, that has gone away without the physical copy, right?
Yeah.
So all this added stuff I think is cool,
Yeah.
So
I always like I still buy CDs. I like having a tangible thing to hold on to,
Totally. Well, hey, man, that first track, 99, I believe we had you on the air a few weeks ago to talk about your upcoming show, and I think you had mentioned that tune was written by Matt Pudas.
Yeah, Matt. I always try to feature one of Matt's songs on every album
cool.
I do. He's got so many, and I've gotten the privilege of playing the White Iron Band off and on for about 20 years going on, or seems like it's been that long. Anyway, we have so many songs, and it's just like, why don't we just shut up and steal each other's songs, just like Willie and Waylon said,
Cool, right?
He's obviously cool, boy. He's one of my good lifelong buddies, and
cool, man.
I just told him, like, royalty checks are coming, buddy. Hopefully.
right, exactly.
So.
When they come in, I'll share the wealth, right?
Absolutely.
So has he covered some of your tunes as well, then, or?
I doubt it. He's got so many of his own,
There's still time, right?
There's still time, yeah. He likes them, he absolutely does.
Right.
White Iron's got their anthems tunes, and
yep.
Why shy away from that if you don't have to? But,
right. Oh, cool. Well, hey man, let's play another track for folks, and then we'll come back and talk some more.
Sounds good.
I'm here tonight with Gregg Hall. He's got a new album out. It's called Exit 222, and we're going to play through it for you tonight. Gregg, when does this actually release? Is it?
I'm having the release.
Yeah.
My first release party is 10/26 in Winona at the Minnesota Conservatory of Music with my friend Nicholas David.
Excellent.
And then hopefully I'll have another single out by then, and then the album should drop. I'm just kind of doing single, every couple weeks leading up to all these release shows we got coming up. So
okay, cool, sounds good. So we got kind of an exclusive look at this album here tonight. So so here it is. This is the second track. This is Woman Like You, release party this weekend, Saturday, October 26th. And here it is, Woman Like You by Gregg Hall, right here on The Sound on 89.5 KQAL.
Hot as fire, soft as rain. Splendid behavior, she don't complain. She's got a diabolical plan. Yeah, she'll bust some skulls, get her man. Ask anybody and they'll tell you it's true. I ain't ever had a woman like you. I ain't ever had a woman like you. Strong as whiskey and sweet as wine. She holds a mark and walks the line. She don't bitch, she don't moan, and she knows when to leave it enough alone. Sure as the morning sky turns blue. Hey! I ain't ever had a woman like you. I ain't ever had a woman like you. She stands so strong on her own 2 feet, and she don't need a damn thing from me, except for the loving that's strong and true. I ain't ever had a woman like you. I ain't ever had a woman like you. I ain't ever had a woman like you. I ain't ever had a woman like you.
That was Woman Like You, and that's a track off the latest album from Gregg Hall called Exit 222. There's a release party this Saturday here in Winona at Minnesota Conservatory for the Arts. And we have Gregg in the studio with us tonight, or on the phone at least. Gregg, so Woman Like You. We were talking a little bit before that you went down to Nashville and did this with Johnny Garcia, who has like a ton of credentials, what do you say, Trisha Yearwood, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, is who he plays guitar with a lot, and Garth Brooks. I mean, so and I was looking at the credits here, and it says that Johnny engineered, mixed, mastered, and produced.
Yeah.
Like, what was this like, man? Like working with someone like that on your tunes, and how did it go down?
It was. We just kind of did some back and forth, sent him some tunes, and he was like, wow, I got turned on from some friends up here, Bruce Larson, Dan Berger, rest in peace, Danny boy. And some friends up here that have worked with him, and he liked what he heard, and then he just kept sending me songs, and these are like the 5 songs that he kind of narrowed down that he thought were good.
Cool.
And I got down there, and he had a lot of the rhythm tracks already done.
Really?
Because we were going back and forth, modern technology.
Right.
So when I got down there, I just kind of got to lay. I played on every song except 99. I let Johnny take over that one.
Right.
But it was just cool. I think he was a little surprised that I could play. I think a lot of the people he gets down there are just singers.
Oh, sure.
Trying to do the Nashville thing, and
the
fact that I could play and was like a musician that for a job, he was I don't know, kind of impressed by it, I think,
Cool.
So that made me feel good.
Right. Totally.
Because I just got in there and laid them down. I mean, we did 5 songs and 3, maybe 4 sessions.
Oh, wow. So how long did it take you? How many days were you down there for?
I think I got down there on Saturday and I left on Thursday morning.
Wow.
So, I got my stuff done in like the first 3 days.
Uh-huh.
And I'd been playing these songs out for a good year. So I was I had my stuff together, and then the Bruce Boughton, the pedal guy, and Tim McDonald on piano, they're just ringers. So they came in and did a great job. And the one song, a couple of them are pretty fast. They weren't used to playing super fast. So it was fun to see them like, holy cow, man,
right.
making them sweat just a little.
Yeah. Right.
So instead of getting it in 2 tracks, it took them like 5.
Oh, wow. Right.
Which doesn't sound like very many, but these guys are just so pro and just so fun.
Totally. Oh, that's cool, man.
Bringing these songs to life in a way I never thought. I mean,
right.
Not saying anything about the musicians up here, we're all amazing. But
totally.
Nashville, the best people in the world go to Nashville.
Right. So that's,
the fact that I got to rub elbows with a few of them.
Totally.
Was worth it for me,
Totally. So Johnny just went up and lined up these other players like the.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, wow. Yep. And he had all the rhythm tracks done when you got there.
Yep. And he's, this is kind of what he does for a living, other than obviously playing out live, but this is more of his bread and butter, I think. So
how cool, man. And the funny thing is, you're mentioning who Johnny plays with, Garth Brooks, Trisha Yearwood. This tune specifically, Woman Like You, when I'm listening through this, this one kind of takes me back a bit, and I can't put my finger on it. It reminds me of either 80s or 90s country, and maybe it's in the middle there. It's almost like it sits somewhere between like what in my head is modern country, which is 80s and 90s because I'm older, and somewhere between that and classic, and it's got these cool guitar riffs and things, like there's a really cool guitar lick riff thing in when Woman Like You here. Did you guys talk about that, or did it just come about?
Well, for me, that song especially, I'm a big Steve Earle fan.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And I was kind of getting some Steve Earle vibes. I'd seen him in concert, and then that next week I wrote that song, and then somebody we played the Minnesota State Fair, and somebody actually came up to me during break when I was selling merch and was like, that last song you played was, oh man, you sound just like Steve Earle, which was a huge compliment for me.
Cool.
So, in fact, I got a little memory jar where I write things down. My girlfriend, when we got home, she's like, you need to put that in your memory jar.
Cool. That's awesome, dude. I love that.
That's kind of the direction I was going for that. And on the whole record, none of the songs to me sounded the same at all.
Right. Yeah.
So I was trying to pull, because I've never been one to just play one style of music. I got blues, we got rock and roll, we got country, we got bluegrass,
Right.
So just always trying to just do something from all my influences, not just country,
Right.
outlaw country,
Totally. In this, like even the next song too, we're going to play Blaming Myself next. I think both these tunes to me had, like the guitar stood out,
Yeah.
They both have their own character, but the guitar stood out to me.
And that's me on Blame.
And that's you on both of them,
myself,
right? Yeah, that's awesome, man. So like with the sound and stuff, do you discuss that with Johnny like ahead of time or when you got down there?
Yeah, like I kind of sent him my rough versions that I did locally here. Some of them are just on my phone,
Cool.
and then some live stuff, and then we just kind of, we wanted to keep them somewhat radio friendly, so he just kind of took them and shortened them because when we play live, I jam. These songs are a lot longer.
Right.
But we tried to keep everything other than the Flying High, the last tune on there. Try to keep them under 3 minutes.
Oh, okay, sure. So you keep them radio friendly.
But he kind of made it so, because I don't know, I'm used to playing them all. Like he shortened them up.
Right.
Some of the riffs that I usually do longer, I'll just do it twice.
Right. So. How do those conversations go? Like, is that hard for you when he's changing the stuff?
Not really, because that's what I paid him to do. Like,
okay,
hey man,
sure.
You're the one this is your job. This is what you do.
Right.
I'm not going to go down. Didn't really question.
Right.
Other than, if I want to redo a solo.
Right.
Or something like that. But
if it's your own thing,
we were on the same page going down there just so we could get down there, get to work, get it done, and get home.
Yeah, totally. Man, that sounds like fun working with someone like that.
It was super fun, super intimidating in a way, but once I've just could hang with those guys, not as an equal in a way,
right?
I felt
right. Do you feel different after going through it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was those things that we feared sometimes really just make us stronger. I guess.
Right. Totally, man. Totally. Well, hey, let's go ahead and play that next tune, Blaming Myself. I'm here talking to Gregg Hall tonight. He's got a new album that's coming out. It's called Exit 222. He's got a release show this Saturday, October 26th, here in Winona at Minnesota Conservatory for the Arts with Nicholas David. We'll talk about that when we come back, too. Here it is. This is Blaming Myself from Gregg Hall, and you're listening to it on The Sound right here on 89.5 KQAL.
By the gun like the devil
That was Blaming Myself, and that's a tune off the latest album by Gregg Hall, which comes out this weekend. It's called Exit 222, and I have Gregg in the studio, or at least on the phone with us tonight. Gregg, yeah, so you're playing a show, Minnesota Conservatory for the Arts this weekend, Saturday, October 26, 2024, with Nicholas David. Now, you were telling me before, Nicholas David, he won some singing competitions, correct? I don't remember which one.
Yeah, he was on The Voice.
The Voice, okay, sure. Cool.
He was one of the top 3 finalists, and I met him years ago playing in White Iron Band, and he's a phenomenal player. I mean, awesome. The kind of dude where you hear him sing 2 notes and you're just like, whoa. Mm-hmm. You know, like there's something going on here that, you know, the world needs to hear, and they got to hear it, you know, and it's pretty impressive. Everything he does is impressive. His piano skills. I mean, I actually toured with him, and we didn't have a bass player. He'd play the bass with his left hand while singing, while soloing, while doing all the other crazy stuff he does with his effects. I mean, he is a force.
Wow.
I mean, I've never quite seen talent out of people I've actually met in my life. He's got to be one of the top, if not the top musician I've ever met. Personally.
That's awesome, man.
You know,
wow.
So he is just.
Well, it's going to be a banger of a show then, you know?
Yeah, so he's starting off solo, and he does the loopy thing, and I don't even know how to describe it. It's out of this world. He's from outer space. You know, I got a few friends. It's just like there's no other explanation for how good you are. Right. You know, like Nicholas David, Paulie Matuszek on guitar for the People Brothers band, or like Sammy from White Iron. It's just like what? That's the only explanation.
Right.
That you can do the things you can do, because I've never heard anybody else come close.
Do that, right. Oh, that's awesome, man. And so, Blaming Myself, we talked about this a little bit, that the riff work on this album, like the guitar work, and this is you again. I absolutely love the guitar riff in this tune. So this is a little, and I'm a sucker for a solid ending, which this tune has. It's got that cool riff at the end, right? And like a stinger type ending, you know, which I absolutely love. Sometimes I just don't like it when it fades out. I view a fade out as kind of lazy, like you forgot to write an ending, you know?
Yeah.
So what's the inspiration for the you know, like little guitar leaning, you know?
Well, that little guitar riff is actually from a song from my very first band, way back in the 90s. It was a song we wrote called Festival Season. This old band called Mitke Evers. We all kind of moved away after college, and we never quite, we could have been a force, but you know, things happen, life happens. Right. So I just always loved that riff. So I changed the key and I brought it. I'm like, oh, maybe I needed a riff. And so I kind of stole that one from that old song. So it's nice to have that little bit of nostalgia in something new, you know. And then that song's about, you know, me choosing the sober living, if you will.
Oh, sure. Yeah, exactly. Well,
I used to be quite the wild man back in the day. So.
Right. And I think, and that's another thing, you know, and this goes for music in general, is the relatability of stuff, you know, because this tune, I think, is very relatable to people. We all have to go through stuff, and I think it's very common for a lot of us to blame ourselves for everything, you know, take on the world's problems, take on everything. It's all our fault, you know, but I heard someone tell me once, you should look at it, instead of blame or fault, it's responsibility, you know, and you can always just pick it up. Yeah. Culpability, you know, it's like, so it shouldn't be that bad. So, and I know the answer to this next question because we've talked about this before, but it also sounds true because it's relatable, right? So, you know, and I love that stuff, you know, it's what people always say, like, you know, good country music tells a story, you know, and I think what that means is that it comes from the heart, you know?
Absolutely.
So good stuff. Do you ever, like, because I know, at least from my experience, most of your music seems very much like that, very honest, very true stories, real life experiences.
One of my albums is called True Stories.
Exactly. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, it's just what I'm feeling, what we're all going through at the time,
right?
You know, whether it be heartbreak or whatever else, you know, whiskey stained memories.
Right,
you know,
right.
I mean,
Totally.
Trying to take those experiences and make something, not dwelling on those past mistakes that we all made,
yes.
and making something pure out of it, and telling the truth, because the truth hurts. Most people don't want to hear it.
Right. Life hurts sometimes, but
Me,
that's the way it
including
goes.
me,
Yeah.
But I think since I've quit alcohol, it's been 7 years.
Nice. Congratulations, man.
and whatever else I used to do. I don't need to get into specifics, but
Right.
Just carrying that message. Like, I'm not a preacher. I don't want to tell people what to do, but hey, here's what I did, and here's my life is so much better. I mean, it's just the law of attraction. You make good decisions, and you try to be a good person, and
yes,
take accountability for your actions, and you get that stuff back. Karma. The universe, they're paying attention.
Yeah, it's true, man. Right. We get what we put into it, or what we put out into the world. It comes back to us.
Some people are going to hate you for it, and that's just, you just got to keep moving forward.
It's just the way it goes, right?
My dad always said, if there's people hating on what you're doing something right.
Right? Yeah, there's truth in that, man, for sure. For sure. Do you ever, so like I was thinking about that, your album True Stories, and then Bruce Springsteen popped in my head actually, because I was thinking about that, songwriting, and how he, what was it, like Thunder Road, this song about getting in your car and driving away and leaving everything behind. Well, the dude didn't even have a driver's license when he wrote that, So I wondered, like, do you ever embellish or like just make stuff up that's that could be true but maybe wasn't, or is it all pretty much just like the real deal?
I think it's all pretty much true. I mean,
that's cool.
Maybe I bend it a little bit, but not. It's unbelievable. I mean, like the stories we were telling behind the mic the other day in our show. Like, there's no, we don't need to.
You don't have to embellish, right?
No, there's no need for it. This really happened.
That is awesome, man. I love that. I think that's fantastic. And I think
there's something skirting the edge of that building, that tall building. Like, anytime we could have fell to our demise, but somehow we never,
Right, exactly.
I don't know how. The grace of God, guardian angels.
Right.
Following that white Iron Band van down the road, or Gregg Hall, the Wrecking Ball, or whatever.
Totally, man. Totally.
But I don't know. It's funny.
Well, and I think people can hear and feel that. I mean, that's why you got the response on for the album, right?
Yeah.
Because people are so into it, because I think they can relate and feel it. And
I think if people knew that I was still on the bottle and making bad decisions, there's no way.
Right.
That you would have, like, all right, this guy's trying to do something now.
Yeah.
At least I think that's what.
No, I think you're right, man.
I know a few people that, Mike Sloggy, the Hurry Back Productions. He's been a huge supporter of Dee's Productions, and he was a big contributor to who's also putting on the show, Artists Next Door. He does Hurry Back Production, does lots of great stuff, and I kind of do the same thing here in La Crosse. We became friends, and
awesome, man.
He's guys like that. He's like, all right, this guy is doing something, let's help him out. And I do, I try to do the same thing for my friends like Megan and the Birdwatcher. They're a huge, I'm a huge fan of them. They just did a big Kickstarter too, and they made a great album. And,
very cool.
So we all got to support each other. The minute we start fighting each other, man, that's not a good look.
No, it's
even
not.
If you don't agree with somebody else is doing, I don't know. You can vent and say your thing, but let it go. I mean, don't try to ruin somebody's reputation just because you don't agree. I mean, that's just not. I don't understand that.
Exactly. I think for the most part, we're all trying to do the best we can, right?
Absolutely.
So give people some grace for that, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Totally, man. When you're writing songs, and I know I've asked you this before, but for our fresh listeners, like, what comes first for you? Do you like think of like a lyric, or is it a melody, or
usually a melody in my head when I'm driving?
Oh, cool, cool.
Like, nice. I travel a lot to Minneapolis and Madison areas, like the rural areas around the Crosse, and the Driftless. And a lot of times it's just me by myself, just thinking of tunes and pops in my head or an idea. And,
right.
I don't know. There's really no set plan. Sometimes I'll just do a retreat by myself.
That sounds
force
good.
myself. Like Trempolo is a good place for that.
Yes.
Go with Just go to the hey, call Amy and Uric at the Hotel Trumpo. Hey, can I come stay for a couple of days?
Nice.
Yeah. Tip the cleaning lady. Write some songs.
Right. Oh, very cool.
Having those places, that have special meaning for any, good places to create. Lansing, Iowa. There's a place down there that I go that's out in the hills. They're just hidden. It's like, okay. I finished my whole Echoes from the Treetops album in a day and a half because I had all the ideas, but could never sit down and finish anything. And then once I put, sometimes just getting yourself away from the world, detaching is all you really need to do. But it's hard to do for everybody.
Right.
We all got kids and we got jobs and we got to make money and we got to pay the bills. But that's solitude. There's power in solitude.
Yeah. Do you think that, how important do you think that is in the songwriting process to just be,
for me, it's
allow that?
Important.
Yeah. Okay.
For me personally, it's important just because, I'm not married. I have two wonderful sons and I'm a co-parents with their moms but it's, it's a one income little household.
Right.
So it's a lot going on. I got two great sons, Waylon and Shay, who are very involved. They're all musicians and they're taking lessons and they're getting going to and from. And actually, Shay's been playing bass. He's been playing with me.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned that.
Yeah, we got a show coming up. His very first one. We're doing a Waylon and Willie tribute show.
Oh, cool.
Up in Bangor on the 27th. So that's like his first gig where I just don't get him up to sit. But so that's, it's everybody's got these responsibilities. Sometimes it's hard to get creative when you're just dad.
Right. Yeah.
So you gotta, sometimes you have to make that space for yourself because nobody else is going to give you a break.
Yeah, that's true. Right.
You gotta, I'm lucky enough that I got my parents, my beautiful partner, Aaron, that can help out with that stuff, but it's really up to you to
make
get
that
yourself
time
away from it. And hey, nope, you got to do this.
Right. That's awesome, man. I love it. And I would agree that time. And I think it goes for all of us, whether you play music or not, even non-musicians, it's important to take that time for yourself, to stay healthy. So, yeah.
Well, I heard Oprah Winfrey one time, like every 7 days I need a day to myself.
Right.
Because I just know myself.
Totally.
I just do nothing. And
the seventh day, man.
I don't know if I can quite get it every 7 days, but at least once or twice a month, whether it's an afternoon or a morning or.
Right. We do what we can, right?
Everybody needs that time to themselves to reflect and be grateful.
Well, I tell you what, this next tune, man, this one blows by pretty quick. Not a lot of time to reflect here. This is like a mover and a shaker. You might call it a barn burner, right? So, well, let's so we teased it a little bit. Let's go ahead and play it, and we'll come back and talk about it. I'm here talking to Gregg Hall tonight. He's got a new album coming out called Exit 222. You're getting a first listen to it here. This next tune is called Legend of Butcher Holler, and you're listening to it on The Sound right here on 89.5 KQAL.
Come on, get a swaller down in Butcher Holler. The best moonshine in the great Midwest, you can bet your bottom dollar. Every time I take a sip, it'll make me hoot and holler. Come on, get a swaller down in Butcher Holler. Keeps that moonshine still. And you hear the crack and the gurgle from a bubbling batch brew. It's its homemade version of that good old Mountain Dew. He's only 6'1", but with his hat he's 7'5". He might be the craziest, meanest son of a bitch alive, and it's probably good for everyone. He lives out in the sticks, but if you ever cross him, you'll meet his toaster fist. So come on, get a swaller down in Butcher Holler. The best moonshine in the great Midwest, you can bet your bottom dollar. Every time I take a sip, it'll make me hoot and holler. Come on, get a swaller down in Butcher Holler. They stay the hell away from his heavily guarded home. And you won't find him behind them local county bars. He gives them crooked cops half a dozen 12-ounce jars. If you come uninvited, you're gonna take a chance of getting one right between the eyes the second you cross that fence. But if he is your buddy, hell, he'll be your bestest friend. But if he doesn't like you, boy, he'll friggin' shoot you dead. So come on, get a smaller down in Butcher Holler. The best moonshine in the great Midwest, you can bet the bottom dollar. Every time I take a sip, it'll make me hoot and holler. Come on, get a smaller down in Butcher Holler. Come on, get a smaller down in Butcher Holler.
That was Legend of Butcher Holler, and that's a tune off the latest album by Gregg Hall. Release party this Saturday here in town at the Minnesota Conservatory for the Arts with Nicholas David opening up. That's October 26, 2024. That last tune, Butcher Holler. Greg, that's a barn burner, man. That one. Yeah. And when you were talking before about the Nashville players and you got some tunes on here that are pretty cooking. This is the one, I think.
Oh yeah, and Johnny plays on this one too.
Oh, cool. So do you guys
Johnny,
both play on this one then?
Yeah, we both do.
Nice.
I let him take that guitar solo because it's really had that. He's the master of that chicken picking.
Oh, of course.
Oh, dude, you got to take this on.
Yeah.
But I did the riffs and I did the rhythm guitar and stuff. So. And Tim McDonald's piano solo. That's the one where they're like, man, we have, because
right.
bluegrass when they all first started out back in the early '90s, late '80s, it was a lot of bluegrass.
Right.
But now he said it's more like bluesy and more Hammond B3 than pedal steel. And, so it was fun for them to kind of get back to that.
Right.
Fast. I was kind of going for like a Ricky Skaggs kind of feel.
Oh, totally, man. Yeah. And it makes you want to move. That I mean, this tune comes on, it's like, oh heck yeah, everybody get up and dance. I feel
like in my repertoire needed a few more of those barn burners.
Sure. I bet that's fun as heck live.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Totally. And I seem to remember when you were on the air with us a few weeks ago, you had a story about the name of this tune, the topic. But lucky for our listeners, I don't quite remember, so maybe you can tell us again.
Well, it was I got a buddy that I grew up with. We were at a Catholic elementary school, and I believe, I was a little bit younger than him, but the story I remember is he got kicked out for, and this, mind you, this dude's like 8 years old. He
sure, yeah.
Kicked a nun and bit her rosary,
I
think, or something crazy like that.
Right.
I don't want to get the story wrong, but his nickname is Butcher.
Oh, okay.
He's just one of them hard dudes, man. He's got the fist, this toaster fist, right?
Right.
But he's one of them dudes, though. If I needed him any time of day for anything ever, he's right there.
Cool.
He's like the classic, dude. He can twist your head off if he wanted to, but he'd rather give you a hug.
Right.
But
Yeah.
if you piss him off, look up.
Yeah. He's a teddy bear.
Getting older now, and we got kids, or we've all calmed down a little bit. But,
right. But he'd still be
like
there.
I said, some of them stories I was telling you, I mean, they're all true, but they're not for the live radio airwaves.
Right. Totally.
Call me on the phone. I'll tell you about it. But
that is right.
Between the White Iron stories and the Butcher stories. The Butcher is actually the drummer in the Wrecking Ball when we started.
Oh, cool. Cool.
That's
just awesome.
Getting a little bit too crazy at gigs, so I had to. He understood. He resigned.
Sure. Well, now he's immortalized.
He's a huge supporter, So
right. That's good. That's good, man. But now he's immortalized in his tune.
In our corner,
Yes, always. Right. Well, hey, man. We're gonna wind this down a little bit, but just to get some things out there for folks. What artists have you been listening to lately? Like what's been in your player lately? What are you into?
Well, I gotta admit that new Chris Stapleton record. I definitely like. I'm a big Todd Snyder.
Oh, cool. Fan. Yeah.
Actually, right now, what's in my record players, Robert Plant, Alison Krauss, Raise the Roof.
Heck yeah.
Some Old Mason Prophet has been on there.
Nice.
But actually, I've been pretty busy to listen to make. I like to, the Cooley region. Iron Still. I don't know if you've heard of
Oh
those
yeah,
guys.
for sure.
They're one of my new favorites. They're actually playing some shows with us. Megan and the Birdwatcher. I really like that band. Core Blonde. I got
Heck yeah.
play at a festival with him, Trucker Fest.
Oh, cool.
Happy
Yeah.
Productions up in Cambridge.
Right.
Javier Trejo. He's another Minneapolis guy too. He's got a new band. I'm not going to say the name of the band right, but man, he is just such a wicked player.
Cool.
And Core Blonde.
Yeah, he's cool too. I love him.
That was really cool to be at the same festival as him. And I tell you what, Joyanne Parker. Holy cow!
Ooh.
May Simpson.
Yeah,
man, that Trucker Fest was loaded. But those two bands blew me away.
Cool.
Especially May Simpson. She's such a nice person too.
Yeah. But such a
just the way she
great
talks,
vocalist. Yeah, she's fantastic, man.
She's got a good head on her shoulders.
Yeah.
When I get off my world tour, I'm coming back here and playing for you guys, no matter what. It's
sweet. Heck yeah.
That's the kind of vibe I like. So that's how I want to be too. When I go on my world tour, I'm going to come back and be on the Sound with Bill Stoneberg,
right?
No matter what.
Because you're proud of where you're from, right?
Lying. I mean, that's you got to keep in touch with your roots, and I think that's super important.
Totally, man. Totally. If anything, I think Minnesotans understand that. Prince always stayed here.
Yeah.
He always kept everything right here. So, I think that's important to folks.
Absolutely.
Totally.
And I think that vibe is still much alive in Minneapolis.
I think so.
I have felt more love from that town than any town other than my hometown.
Yeah.
And everybody up there is cool. All the musicians are cool. I've gotten so much help.
Yeah, there's such
guys like Big Woo, Mark Joseph.
Right.
The White Iron Boys, and Sean Sullivan, the Happy Trucker up in
Cambridge.
There's just a lot going on, a good vibe there, and I'm just grateful to be included.
Heck yeah, man! There's such good support for the scene here in this state and in Wisconsin as well. So good stuff, man. Hey, so this new album release party this Saturday, October 26th at Minnesota Conservatory for the Arts. The Artist Next Door series. Is that under Highway 61? Is that part of that?
Yeah, yep. And I think I'm the first one.
And you're the first one of it. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So this will be cool to kick that off.
Or I think they might have done one.
Are you the second?
Either way.
Yeah, either way. I saw there were two online listed when I looked. Very cool, man. So this album will come out digitally in a few weeks, or is it digitally available already?
Yeah, sure. Well, they'll be available for purchase. Of records and CDs.
Cool.
On the 26th. And then it should be out digitally by the beginning of December. Just like I said, I'm trickling it out, and then
sure,
kind of build some momentum.
Which I like. Release a single here and there, get some excitement brewing about it.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
It's just an EP, so there's only 5 songs.
5 tunes. What's the best way for people to find out about upcoming show dates, merch, things like that? Where should they go?
GreggHallmusic.com. GreggHall music.com. That's got everything on there. So
cool. Excellent. Sounds good. Let's see. Release show. Oh, and this last tune, man. So yeah, this last tune we're gonna play. It's Flying High. It's the last tune on the record. When we had you in the studio a few weeks ago, you mentioned that this is kind of like your Freebird, and you've recorded it a few times.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised that Johnny and them guys liked this one so much. But even all the guys, they're like, "Oh man, you got to record that one again." I sent him because the versions I have out there. One is from 2002.
Okay.
Not just me by myself.
Right.
Playing guitar,
Right.
So then I had a friend, Mr. Blank. They did their version of it, but which is great, obviously.
Right.
They're a great band. But I never. And then the Smoking Bandits have one, but it's not out on the streaming. So I just feel like I said, he is the boss, man.
Yeah.
So he liked it. He thought it, and I think it turned out great. I feel it's the only one that's not radio friendly, but I'm really going to, in the next month, throw some power behind him because I feel like it could be a streaming hit.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
It's a good sing along song. I mean, and just because the people around here know it doesn't the whole world or whatever doesn't know it.
Exactly.
So,
it's new to somebody,
some
right?
of my friends like, why'd you record that song again? I'm like, well,
Not everyone's heard it, so.
yeah, not everyone's heard it. La Crosse County, yes, we are sick of it, I'm sure. but I get requests. I play it all the time. It's my best song.
Right.
It's been my best opportunity of recording, so why not?
Right. Totally. Well, it's a great tune, man. It's a great tune. Yeah. And I remember telling you, I'm like, well, at a show in the future, you might find me in the back yelling "Flying High," like Freebird, right? And then I said, it just fell out of my mouth. I was like, well, as long as I don't yell "Flying High" again, because it reminds me of the Ozzy song, right? And I did find there's a country cover of "Flying High Again" by Ozzy Osbourne. So I'll try to refrain from that. I'll just yell "Flying High," right?
You got it.
Just
well,
like
I'll try to learn that one too.
Learn them both, and then we'll see what happens. Oh, cool, man. Hey, man, it's been great having you on the air. I can't wait. This is going to be a great show Saturday night. Gregg Hall.
It's going to be kind of a broken down show. We're not going full on electric. We're doing more of an intimate kind of acoustic thing.
Oh, okay. Sure.
It's still going to be, we're not going to blow your hair back in your head, but
right.
we're still you're going to get the gist of all of what we're doing.
Exactly.
Just not at an appropriate volume.
We'll still be right. Exactly. We'll still be impressed, Yeah. You won't have to wear earplugs. So
no, absolutely not.
Well, cool, man. Like I said, pleasure having you on the show again. Always a pleasure. Can't wait to see the next move. Everything.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we got a new Live at First Avenue is going to be coming out here in the next few months too. We're working on that. We opened up for the Big Woo.
Oh, cool.
Last December. So it's
excellent.
turning out really good.
Excellent. So, Live at First Avenue.
Lots going on, man.
Yeah. Anything else we should know about? Any big things coming up in the future here?
Just we got a La Crosse release with Iron Still. December 21st at the Main.
Okay, December 21st.
Once we get a few of these done, that'll be my next big show.
Excellent.
For the hometown team.
Right. Well, hey, everybody, go see Gregg this Saturday at Minnesota Conservatory for the Arts. And if you missed that, or you're probably going to want to see him again after that, December 21st at the Main in La Crosse. So
good.
Awesome, man. Well, let's go out with this last tune here. We've talked about it a bunch. I've been here with Gregg Hall tonight. New album's called Exit 222. It's 5 tunes. Release party, release show this Saturday, October 26th at Minnesota Conservatory for the Arts with Nicholas David opening up, and another show in December at the Main in La Crosse. Gregg, thanks so much for visiting us.
Yes, you're welcome. Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure, Bill. I love what you guys are doing up there.
Thanks, man.
You got a good little scene going in Winona.
Heck yeah. Well, and we're glad to have you be part of it, man. For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. All right, here it is. This is Flying High by Gregg Hall off of his album Exit 222. And you're listening to it on The Sound right here on 89.5 KQAL.
Holding back a heartache is like bringing a body back from the dead and making it alive. You threw me out of your life on one mysterious night. That's why I'm flying high. 'Cause she knows that I know that you know that I know about everything that's going on. That's why I'm feeling down. And all I need is one look from her. She's still hanging on. Yeah, well, I'm here now. There's something that I'd like to say. Well, it's so good to see you again, my friend. Flying on the town. Well, it's so good to see you again, my friend. Flying on the town. Well, it's so good to see you again, my friend. Flying on the town. Well, it's so good to see you again, my friend. Flying on the town. Well, it's so good to see you again, my friend. Flying on the town.
Thanks again to Gregg Hall for joining us tonight on The Sound. To hear more from Gregg, look him up at gregghallmusic.com, Bandcamp, or your favorite streaming platforms. For more deep dives into local and regional albums, tune into The Sound every Wednesday night at 6, right here on 89.5 KQAL. You can also listen to past episodes of The Sound with extended interviews and exclusive content on your favorite streaming services. Find links at kqal.org. I'm Bill Stoneberg, and we've just heard from local legend Gregg Hall on The Sound. Thanks for listening to The Sound. The Sound is produced by KQAL-FM on the campus of Winona State University. Visit us online at kqal.org. Theme music for The Sound provided by Mike Terrell of Fires of Denmark.